Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another video here on the K-Tech channel. Today I'm bringing you the unboxing and first impressions of this new release, the Poco M7. This is Poco's basic model designed to compete with smartphones priced under 1,000 reais. Alright, and now let's get to our unboxing initial review with first impressions of this release, the Poco M7. Let's go to the video. Let's do it. And starting the unboxing, a traditional yellow box from Poco with the model highlighted. The side label displays the International Mobile Equipment Identity Codes and product version. Inside the box, we quickly find the traditional small envelope. And inside it, we have an ejector pin, a quick start guide, and a black silicone case. Also includes a charging and data cable with USB Type-A and USB Type-C connectors. And right below, that's where the smartphone comes. And as you already know, the version sold here in Europe doesn't come with a charger in the box, but it supports charging up to 33 watts of power. And now, with the smartphone already in hand, all set up, we have a 6.9-inch liquid crystal display in-plane switching display with an amazing refresh rate of 144 Hz and a maximum brightness of 850 nits. It has a good grip, but it's slightly wider than normal. It weighs 224 grams and is 8.6 millimeters thick. I thought the silver color was beautiful and the camera module was nice. It definitely deserves that nice pat on the back. On the right, there's volume up, volume down, and the power button. On the top, infrared sensor. On the left side, a hybrid SIM tray. And on the bottom, microphone, USB Type-C port, and speaker output. Let's talk about artificial intelligence. Unfortunately, this smartphone lacks Xiaomi Hyper Artificial Intelligence and any other artificial intelligence pre-installed. Only the Gemini app, which you can use as an assistant, even for editing photos, all directly through this app. But in fact, natively, there is no artificial intelligence installed on the device. To edit or change an image or photo, you need to go there, type your request, and ask Gemini to do it. Or you can simply download the Chat Generative Pre-trained Transformer app and have it installed on your device. Now about the battery, we have 7,000 mAh of silicon carbon. The performance is top-notch, it's really good, it's excellent, it lasts all day without needing to recharge the device very easily. Let's move on to the processor test I did. Snapdragon 685, 6 nanometers. It scored 370,000 points on Antutu, a pretty basic score. It's an old processor, the same one Xiaomi used in the Redmi 15. It reached 34.1 degrees and lost 2% battery. Let's now run some gameplay footage with it, starting with Asphalt Legends. With the graphics set to maximum, it actually runs pretty well. But I can notice some small lags and the graphics aren't very detailed either. And now, in Call of Duty Mobile, it doesn't even allow you to set the graphics very high. But it actually runs pretty well. Once again, there are some small lags on the screen and the graphics are a bit grainy too, without much detail. You can tell it's a bit weak in processing power in the screen. It's a basic processor, so don't expect much. It handles only light games, nothing demanding. Everyday activities like watching a video on YouTube, checking social media, WhatsApp, that kind of thing will work just fine. It has IP64 certification, so it's resistant to splashes and small amounts of water. Now, as for the operating system, we have Xiaomi HyperOS 2.0 running with Android 15 on the device. And it also comes with near-field communication connection for making contactless payments, which is excellent. The side fingerprint and facial unlock work well. They're a bit slow, but still satisfactory. There are 3 versions: 6GB RAM, 128GB, 8GB RAM, 128GB, and 8GB RAM, 256GB, which is the one I have. On the side, it features a hybrid tray for 2 nano SIM cards with 4G support but no 5G. You can use 1 nano SIM card and a micro SD to expand memory. It doesn't support eSIM, the virtual card. Now let's go to its audio and video test. Let's go, guys, now to the audio and video test. Starting here with advanced quality, 1080p I2. Let's also turn its brightness all the way up. The volume is already at maximum too, and now let's rotate the screen here and apply the pinch. Let's go. The audio here is just mono, okay? We don't have a top sound output. It only comes out down here. Let's go, guys. Audio and video are good on the device. Its screen has pretty nice colors, but it's a screen that lacks brightness and also a bit more resolution. It's a simple screen, a basic screen, and its audio, which isn't stereo audio, it's mono audio, is good, satisfactory, and matches the range of devices it competes with in the market. Now let's talk about the cameras. The front has an 8 megapixel camera recording 1080p full high definition at 30 FPS. Let's show photos and videos taken with its front camera.
Now, the Poco M7's front camera is recording at full high definition, 1080p 30 FPS.
Here's the sun. Let's find some shade here. We won't have high dynamic range for this device, okay?
But just so you have an idea, here it still captures the sun, but I'm all dark. If I tap myself here, it focuses on me and the background turns white, okay? But there it is for you. Front camera of the Poco M7, so you can also see a bit of the stabilization and image quality.
All right then, guys.
Guys, the front camera is really simple, no enhanced features, nothing special, everything is very simple and basic. Comment down below what you think. Now let's look at the back, which has two cameras, a 50 megapixel main camera and a second mysterious one that Xiaomi hasn't revealed. Poco doesn't disclose it, but all signs point to a 2 megapixel camera. To create background blur in images, they list it in the specs as an auxiliary camera. That's it, period. The rear camera records up to 1080p at 30 FPS. Let's take some photos and videos with the rear camera. We'll return soon to share our final thoughts and wrap up.
Here's the Poco M7's rear camera. Max resolution is full high definition 1080p at 30 FPS. Let's zoom in here. Let's see how far it goes. 6 times, half a dozen. And we don't have stabilization, and we also don't have wide angle, okay? We'll walk here. I'm holding it with just my right hand so you can see. Let's test this focus here. Fast focus, very good. Walking here and holding the device so you get the idea. We always test top devices, right? With stabilization, with optical image stabilization. Look at the difference it makes compared to a device that doesn't have it. It's surreal, right, man, what these guys do with the devices. But anyway, guys, there you go. Poco M7 rear camera.
Guys, once again, I don't know what you thought, but I also found the rear cameras to be pretty basic without any features, nothing really improved. Just for quick photos and videos without high camera expectations. But anyway, let's move on to the positive points. In my opinion, for this smartphone here, the battery, which is huge, that's definitely a very positive point for this device. IP64 certified, which is great. Near field communication lets you make contactless payments. Also, its price is very competitive. Now let's discuss the negatives. Starting with the cameras, I thought it could have better cameras. The processor as well, it's an old, outdated processor. It could have a slightly more powerful processor. Lack of 5G connectivity. The device only has 4G connection. That's another downside. And a screen that lacks a bit more brightness and above all quality. I want your opinion. Comment below what you like, what's good, and what's bad about this device. If you liked the video, comment below and leave a like. It's important. Make sure you're subscribed and share the channel to support us, all right? We're in this together, guys. Thank you all so much. God bless you. A big hug and see you next time. Thanks. I'm out.